We have work to do. The sound is enchanting. The scenery delights the senses. And the company possesses an irresistible charm. This is indeed a great day to die. Be my horde.
Hello everybody and welcome back. We got a little something different for you today. We are going to be talking about a game that you've definitely heard me talk about quite a bit, Be My Horde. I'm actually pretty excited for this one. We got Moz with us as well, and we have a special guest down here. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, please, mate?
Hi, hello. I'm super happy to be here. My name is Łukasz Kostka, and I'm from Polish Games, the developers of Be My Horde.
Fantastic. All right, so we got a few questions. I think we just hop right on into it. The first one is, so can you tell us a little bit about your experience in being involved with making games over your career?
I'm in the gaming industry for like 5-6 years already, and I'm that boring guy doing with the marketing stuff. I'm head of PR and marketing in Polish Games, so it may not sound exciting, but trust me, this industry is generally in total very exciting. So my job is also awesome. I was working before in a few developer studios and publishers like Ice Games, like Furedemic, like even Better Gaming Agency, so a PR agency for games. And for like 1 year, almost 1 year, because the day we are recording this podcast, it's like 5-6 days before my first anniversary at Polish Games. Will be the whole year. And so I joined on the beginning of October last year. And from that time, my job is for everybody to hear about Be My Horde. The true heroes are there coding, making graphics, programming, and whatever they're doing there. But it's kind of my job to show it to people and communicate in a proper way. And I hope I'm doing a good job, because you heard about Be My Horde. So yeah, okay. So one person for sure heard about it.
So you say you've been there for almost a year now. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's like working there?
Oh, it's amazing, because Polish Games is very small studio. It's like right now in a core team, it's like 11 of us. But when I joined 1 year ago, there were only 3 people. It's like the studio started to grow in the last year. We hired more and more people, but at the same time, we want to keep it simple and cozy in here. We have a very democratic approach to the games. I know that the bigger companies will laugh at me right now, but everybody has something to say. Like the artist can comment the design, the designer can say anything about marketing, or the the only one exception is programming, because we don't know shit about it. So we have 2 programmers. They are dealing with that. But the other things, it's like we always asking each other what we think about the stuff. And working in such an environment is very refreshing and very cool. Thanks to it, I hope we are making great games. I will remember that our music composer, because the music to Be My Horde has been composed by Davi Vasque. He's an outsourced composer from Brazil, and he was, when I spoke to him once, he was very surprised about the approach to working on the soundtrack, because on one hand it could be a little bit annoying, but everybody has something to say about the music. And it was the first time he met with something like that. He was like, wow, that's amazing. I'm going to the meeting and I don't have one person, I have more of them speaking about the music. And on the beginning he was a little bit overwhelmed by it, but in the end he really appreciated the feedback from so many people. Right now it works. We'll see how it goes when it's going to be like 50 of us in Polish Games.
That seems to be one of the problems with bigger studios, AAA studios these days, is there's just too many people, and unfortunately that leads to job cuts because there's just bloat. So having a smaller team, not necessarily a bad thing, especially when everyone's got communication and in sync with one another. So that's really good to hear.
What was the team's inspiration, or was there other, like, what games inspired you to make what you guys made?
It all started with Diablo 4. To be fair, our game director, the man who is behind all of this, behind this master plan of making Be My Horde, his name is Krzysztof Dadeło. He played Diablo 4. He played as a necromancer, and he wasn't pleased with how you play as necromancer in Diablo 4. So it was like a negative inspiration. He was like, he played it, and he was like, hey, I can do it better. And he had that idea to make a game about fulfilling this fantasy of becoming a necromancer who resurrects not 5-10 of minions that fight for you, skeleton zombie like style units, but the whole hordes with hundreds of units on the screen. And he was looking for the further inspiration how to do it, what would be the best approach to do it. And he found a little game created on the game jam that to this day is available on itch.io for free. It's called Right Click to Necromance, and it is a very, very small, very simple but very cool game where you are leading the small horde, and when you kill the groups of enemies, and when you kill them, you can resurrect them. There is no character on the screen, like there's no necromancer. You just have those units. And Krzysztof thought that, hey, this is a very cool idea. Why not make a full-fledged game out of it? And he took it, and looking for the more inspirations, he found the game that I think everybody heard about, so the Vampire Survivors. And the idea was what would happen if we combine right click to necromance with the survivor style game. And kind of this is how Be My Horde came to life.
Okay, so this next one's a bit of a double one with that. So I actually kind of like the idea of the necromancy to it. It's a little bit of a fresher take on this genre as opposed to, you know, getting stronger swords or whatnot. You don't actually deal damage yourself.
Yes.
You just necromance. But you mentioned Vampire Survivors. How does the team feel about the comparison between that?
I mean, on one hand, it's I'm looking for the word, because I'm so sorry, guys. I'm not English native speaker, so for sure I'm making tons of mistakes. We are flattered. That's the expression. We're flattered about it, because we thought that most of the people will compare us as to right click to necromance. But I know that this game is not as famous as Vampire Survivors. Maybe that's the thing. Of course, we don't see each other as a Vampire Survivors clone, to be fair. Yet we did a whole video devlog on our YouTube about our inspirations, and we openly says that, hey, yes, we were inspired by Vampire Survivors, but adding this element that you do not fight, you just lead your horde fighting the enemies, I think it makes us stand out among other survivor type games. We took from Vampire Survivors what we thought would work the best for our games. So the thing that you need to survive for some time. That was yes. If you're on a necromancer, what you do as a necromancer? What's the way to fulfill this fantasy? You destroy the armies of enemies. So we just need to throw. So you need to survive for some time. That was our main idea. That you do not have tasks, quests, like go there, kill that person, go there, destroy this building. No, let's go with this surviving thing. And that's the one thing we took from Vampire Survivors. But besides of that, I think we are kind of unique with our approach to it. And like I said, if you want to call us a ripoff from something, call us from the right click to necromancy, because we're closer to that game.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So the next part to this one is, and I don't know if this is something you can explain, but what has been the biggest technical issue to deal with this game to make yours different in this genre?
Oh, that may surprise you, but I think that at some point, I mean, you asked about technical stuff. I wanted to say the marketing, because I need to convince people that we are not Vampire Survivors clones. So that was the first thing to pop out to my head. Besides of that, I can only tell you that maybe optimization of the game, because if our idea to stand out is that you have hundreds, and I really mean hundreds of units on a screen, going there, fighting each other, you can resurrect them, etc. Then yes, the FPSs drop down. So that's I think this is the most technical difficulty we have while working on the game, but I think we'll manage to do it. That's why we, for example, decided to do the 2D style game, because we didn't want to do it in 3D. there were plenty of reasons for that, but I think the optimization was one of them. So if you ask me what is the difficult making Be My Horde and stand out, I think that one, optimization of the game. It will always take us some time, and also balancing it, because with games like that, it's always difficult to make a proper balance. Hey, you're a necromancer, you can resurrect each fallen enemy, so what can stop you? You're like this Night King from Game of Thrones. So it took us a lot of time to do it properly. But also this, maybe it's trivial, but it's marketing to convince people that, hey, yes, on one hand we are a little bit like Vampire Survivors, but on the second hand, not exactly. That's very difficult, and sometimes even we get to this trap that, I don't know, I speak with somebody on a gaming event presenting My Horde, and I say trying to tell them what this game is about, and I tell them, hey, have you played Vampire Survivors? Yes, it's similar, but something. Yeah, and even I sometimes use this leverage. So it's challenging. It's challenging to run away from it. This is very, very rare thing in the industry, and you have one game that pretty much created the genre. I know that there were bullet heavens and survivor games before that, but let's be honest, Vampire Survivors kind of started the trend, and every survivor game you make, it will be always compared to Vampire Survivors. So it's challenging, it's difficult, but hey, it's also helpful. I say, hey, this is like Vampire Survivors. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, instantly know where to go to.
Why did you choose to have the main character be a villain instead of a hero?
To be fair, I don't remember exactly. I think it goes natural. Like, you are going to be a necromancer, so you cannot be a positive character. That was our thinking, of course. Maybe someone could not agree with me, but oh my god, yes, the answer for this question will be very simple, very short this time. It just came out at the very beginning, and we never thought about it. Only one thing I can add is, like, right now, Be My Horde is in early access, so it's kind of small in content. We are going to add more in the future, and one of our idea is to add more story to the game. It will be more story about who Moriana is, why she's doing what she's doing, and what are the obstacles she needs to overcome, etc., etc. But I can assure you that we don't want to explain her, because sometimes you have villains that are main characters, but at some point you say, oh, they are on a revenge, or I don't know, they have some trauma, and you try to explain this character why he or she is doing all those terrible stuff. Mostly we see it mostly in movies, but in games as well. We have another approach. No, she's just freaking evil. She's evil, and we are not going to. Of course, we will show some of her backstory, but yeah, get used to it being evil in this game.
Well, I think it works well for her. But speaking of the main character, can you tell us about how you guys went about getting Amber Lee Connors to do the voice? Because her voice acting in this is phenomenal. I think it actually helps the game stand out with the character as well. And she does bring quite a bit of sex appeal to this character in her voice.
My, such flattery. I have to be vigilant with you around.
As well. So how was that process?
Oh, Amber is amazing. It's like from the very start, because maybe let me start from the beginning. Before we even came up with the Moriana, we wanted the character to be just a leech, just a skeletal figure, something. Then one day our game director came to the call with us, and he said, hey, let's make her a woman. Let's make it something different. And our artist Alicia Frelich, she came up with this idea to make her closer to Morticia Adams in terms of how she's seductive, but not vulgar in this seductive. And one day we came up, hey, we can make her sexy, we can make her powerful, we can make people all like her, but without voiceover, it's pretty much impossible. We can make her look the greatest in the world, but without voice, it just won't work. And this is the one and only thing for now that I added to the game in terms of the development. That was my job to find the actress for this role, and I reached out to many great actresses, even some that are quite famous because they played in, for example, Baldur's Gate 3, but I cannot share the names. But we did the whole audition. We sent a few lines, where they sent them back. We were here, we were listening to it. We were looking for the perfect person. And to be fair, Amberly Connor just smashed it. She really smashed it. She was perfect as Moriana. She beat really famous voice actresses fighting for this role. And the cool thing is that she was the first person who replied to me. She was the first who sent me the audition, and because of that, I think she just set a bar very very high, and nobody could jump it over. So working with Amberly Connor is amazing, and the cooperation is very smooth. It's like I write to her, I say tell her what we want to do. I remember that we were with her on the first recording session. Me, the game director, the designer, and we were just she was reading the lines. We were giving her some advices, some notes. But after, I don't know, 5 or 7 minutes of this recording session, I wrote to the game director, and I told him, "Hey, what we are doing here? She's doing fine. She's amazing. She's smashing it. Let's just let her work." And from that time, we've never joined the recording session. Not because we don't like Amber. We love her, but she doesn't need it. She doesn't need to be directed. She really feels Moriana, and every time she delivers it. So she's just great.
Okay, fantastic. Nah, she is really
Really
good
good.
actually in this role.
How has the reception to the game been? Fans liking it, or is there a bit of hate, or mostly positive? Like, yeah.
It was very positive, and to be fair, we are a little bit surprised because Be My Horde is a very very small project, very small. To be fair, I mentioned that we started to hire people, yes, and we decided that, hey, because we are growing and we have more people in the company, let's make a simple project on the big first. So not throw ourselves right away on a, I don't know, huge RPG title or whatever.
Yeah.
Just let's make something smaller. Let's learn how to work together. Let's learn how we want to make games. So let's find our own solution for some challenges and problems. So to be fair, we didn't have a high expectation for Be My Horde. It was like, hey, let's launch it in early access. Let's stay there in a few months. Let's release it in full, and bam, let's go to the next project.
Yep.
And we were hoping for, I can't even tell you, we were hoping for like 3, maybe 4,000 copies sold in the first 1 or 2 months. That was it. We didn't hope for more for much. And to this day, it was like 3 months from the release. We sold like 50,000. 15, 1 5, no, not that big. 15,000 copies. It's amazing how people gather around this game. Like our community is growing. We didn't even dream about having community. It's strange. I'm going to the Discord and people are discussing our game and telling, oh, what they will add to the next update. Oh, this is my result for my last run. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, people really like this game, and yes, we are super happy about it. It's great to work on something like that, and we just hope it's going to be bigger and better with every update we are cooking right now.
What's the biggest piece of feedback that has been taken away from players? Like, what's the best information, player feedback you've been given?
To be fair, the thing I already mentioned, that is challenging balance. It's like, no matter how long you're going to internally playtest the game, you will never know everything about it. Like, we play this game every day, so of course we have a different approach to it. We are very bad. We are very good at it. Although I'm the worst guy in Be My Horde in the whole company. I'm always the one testing the game as a noob. But even I, as a noob, I'm better than most of the players. That's obvious. We're dealing with this game every day. So what we really hope every time, what we really hope is this feedback for the balance of the game. When we see that most of the players, I don't know, die too quickly, or on the other hand, they survive too too long in the game and we wanted then that to die. Before that, it's a note for us that hey, we are doing something wrong with the balance, and this is something we need to tweak all the time. But also we take all other ideas from the players for changes to the game. We cannot do everything they offer. This is always the problem with the feedback, because on one hand we really want to be transparent with people about the development process of the game. We try to show them what we are doing, of course hiding some surprises for them, but tell them what we are doing, and we would love to fulfill the fantasies of all players, whatever they want in the game, but we cannot do it. On one hand we need to listen to them, because they are our players. We are making the game for them, so we need to take their notes, their opinions, their reviews, and thanks to them make the game better. But at the same time, we kind of need to be faithful to our vision of the game.
Yeah.
We need to stick to our original idea. We cannot, let's say that most of the players suddenly says that hey, Be My Horde is cool, but it would be better as a shooter game. Yeah, we could do it, but it wouldn't be the thing we came up on the beginning. It's a very hard example, but we know what I mean. But still, feedback from the players is very vital for us, and it helped us a lot, especially with the balancing the game, really.
So speaking of all that, though, is there anything you can tell us about what's coming up in the near future for Be My Horde?
Yes, of course. I think that the funny thing I didn't tell you guys when you invited me to this podcast is that probably today, when we record this podcast, today or maybe tomorrow, it really depends on a internal playtest, we will launch the next big update to Be My Horde that will be very polishing the gameplay. Because first, we really want to make this gameplay smooth and working for everybody. This balance, all those features we presented in the game. Maybe we're going to switch some things up and down to make the game more exciting. But when we do it, when we will be sure that hey, this is the Be My Horde that really works great and people love it, then we will switch to making extra content to the game. And we are planning 2-3 more levels to the game, because right now you have only one level, those plains with grass, trees, and etc. We are planning 2-3 more levels to the game. Each level will end up with the boss fight. There will be a boss added to the current level and also to the next levels. And each level will of course have not only the unique look, but also unique enemies you need to deal, and maybe some extra features. And we want to add a story to the game, like I said, to connect all those levels, what is going on, what who those bosses are, who Moriana is, etc., etc. So that's our goal to do it. And I can assure you that it's not going to be long. We don't want to be another game that spends in early access 3-4 years. It's not for us. We hope to release the full version of the game somewhere mid next year. I'm thinking about something like that.
Fantastic. That was actually the follow-up question to that.
Mm-hmm.
So one final question. Is there anything you would like to say to the players of Be My Horde or anyone that's looking to give this game a chance?
I have, as a marketing guy, a lot of lines in my head right now, how to promote this game, how to convince people to play it, what I want to pass. But I think I will just go with 3 words right now, and it's going to be praise be Moriana.
Fuck yeah. All right. Thank you very much. The links to Be My Horde will be in the pinned comment and in the description down below. Thank you again for your time. Appreciate it. And we'll see you all later.
Thank you so much.